Hi viewers, welcome to your Perspective TV channel. And today there's a topic that has been a bit of concern to me, and I wish to discuss it. Just recently in Bauchi, the governor has suspended or rather banned co-education, and it happened that back in my days in Nigeria I attended a mixed school, so this is a big concern. I attended a mixed school and I have my daughter here too that attended a mixed school and has that mixture of education in Nigeria, and she's equally here attending mixed school as well. So I just want to see your perspective on this matter, and this is the only way we can reach the government that we are dissatisfied with certain decisions they take, especially when it has to have to do with our kids and our loved ones. So we can't just it's a free world. We cannot just wait and just wake up and things just change without seeking opinion, public poll or public opinions about issues, discussions that affect the masses, that affect parents. So I'll be introducing Winnie, my daughter, that has schooled in Nigeria and also schooled in Australia and New Zealand presently. And she's going to tell you about her experience in Nigeria and Australia as well as New Zealand. And we're going to be comparing the Nigerian system of education and that of Australia and New Zealand. We know we can't compare both anyway, but then there are one or two lessons that we ought to learn from this video. So that is the main reason I'm trying to, you know, um, um, you know, work on this video, because if we fold our hands and laws are just being, people wake up and put law into place, before you know, all the northern schools will begin to emulate them. Yes, we know that there have been single school, mixed schools all over. So you're, as a parent, you choose the one, in consultation with your child, you choose the one they want to attend to. So not, generally banning them. I could see the boys of that school, of those schools, that has been affected, trying to demonstrate, make a peaceful demonstration and protest that they were not consulted, they were not carried along, that it's not going to work, and they were showing their dissatisfaction in this decision that the government has made. So with me here is Winnie, and I'm going to be introducing Winnie to you, and you are going to be hearing from her a little bit. I'll be asking her some questions, and she'll be giving uh, you some answers about her opinion about this. Thank you for listening. Winnie, over to you.
Hi, my name is Winnie. I go to Roncalli College and I am 17. Yep.
Yeah, so you attended school in Nigeria, and before coming to Australia, and you spent about 3 years in your high school in Australia before coming to New Zealand. So I want to tell you, can you please tell the audience your experiences back in Nigeria when you were studying in school, and again compared to Australia and New Zealand?
Um, Australia was, Nigeria was a good school, great students. Everyone was socializing, especially with the boys. We worked together as a team. We worked together and I feel like working together, like boys and girls school encourage diversity and helps us to like understand everyone's opinion about stuff. So working together in Australia, New Zealand, and Nigeria schools were really good, and yeah, it was really benefiting to understand different perspective, not only my perspective.
Thank you, Winnie, for that. Once again, secondly, I'm going to be asking about what impact do you think this action the Bauchi state government has decided? What do you think it will have on the children? You know,
It will. It's not going to encourage diversity anymore, and we won't be able to work with each other. We won't really have the understanding that we're supposed to have from childhood, from like youth, from our youth. So we won't have like those opinions, and we won't really understand each other more. So I think it's not a really good thing that because we're supposed to be we're supposed to work together as one. But if you're going to separate the boys and girls, then that's going to cause a lot of trouble.
Thank you for that, Winnie. So lead us to the third question. So, which is, do you think separating girls from boys will actually solve the problem of moral decadence in Nigeria today, or around the globe, or all over the world today? Please, your view.
Um, not no, it's not going to really help us because we are supposed to be one. We're supposed to understand each other. We're supposed to get different perspective about life, about like life, everything they've been doing to themselves or like their own understanding. And we need that from when we're kids, from youth. So we need to like walk with each other as we're little. And if we can't do that right now, then I think it's gonna be a big problem when we grow up because this is the basics, and if we can't get the basics, we're gonna have problem when we're growing up. It's gonna be very hard to work with each other, and it's gonna be very hard to understand each other's perspective. And it's probably going to be just the males being leaders or just the females being leaders, which is not fair to the other gender that's being oppressed. Sorry.
Thank you for that. So, again, I'm going to ask you, do you feel comfortable studying together um, with your male colleagues in the same class?
Yeah, it's a really good experience. It's really good to understand their different views and like have fun with them, smile with them, and yeah, it's a really good experience.
Thank you for that, Winnie. So I'm going to be asking, sorry about this question. Have you been molested or assaulted by your male counterpart in the class that made you to be so much uncomfortable being in the same class with your opposite sex?
No, they've been really nice. I feel like if you get to understand them and if you grow up with them, and if especially if they're brought up with the good morals and good understanding from their parents, I feel like we're all gonna be okay. So no, I haven't been none of those things have happened to me before because everyone I've met are really nice and really understanding, and we work together as one. Yeah.
Some people are talking about hormones and stuff like that, triggers some of the boys or the girls to start misbehaving in the class. And do you think really separating them will really curb this problem? And do you think they will not find other ways to meet up with their boyfriends? Or actually, what I want to ask directly is, do you think do you think about anything immoral when you study in this class, or your mind is focused on what you want to study, what you want to be, how you want to get to the uni and all other stuff? Do you have time for frivolities like, boyfriend, girlfriend, doing immoral stuff in, all the time you've schooled in Nigeria and here in Australia and New Zealand?
No, not really. It's more about because between the boys and girls, it's mainly just us competing to be on top, and we just compete between ourselves and try to be bring out the best from each other. So we don't really have time for all that. And even if we have time for all that, there's a time and place for everything. We have to grow up. We know the rules because we were brought up right. So I feel like we all know the morals and the codes that we're not supposed to do such things like that. And if kids don't know those rules, then we're gonna blame the parents for that because the parents need to train them right and bring them up in the right way so that every other person's not gonna suffer for someone not doing the right thing. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your insight about this topic, and hopefully, there might be topics that concern teenagers and young school children that I will be calling you upon to have your opinion to share with my audience and viewers. Thank
Yes.
you very much. Quite appreciated.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, viewers. So that was Winnie in this short discussion about the effect or the impact of separating male students from their female counterparts in Nigeria, Bauchi state to be specific. This is not a new thing, and it has been happening in so many other states in Nigeria. And I just think we should just, hear people's opinion, their perspective about things like this. For me, as you heard from Winnie, this issue of separating the schools or separating girls from boys in school, secondary school especially, is not going to solve the problem, you know. So what I presume the government should be doing is to carry out research, public polls, opinions, and you know it doesn't take them much time to do research. You cannot just wake up because one or two students have been found wanting or have been found indulging in immoral act. Then you now just take that thing off, and you are not solving the problem. We should be a government that is proactive. Yes, it's good to take pragmatic decision, not when it has to do with the children. They are the receiving end. The government just come up, bring policies, irrespective if those policies are, uh, impacting on these wards or our children positively or not. They don't really care. That is my concern. Such things should not be hastily decided. There should be a pool, there should be a research, and that should be carried out. Oh, what are people's opinion? What are the students' opinion? What are the teachers' opinion? So are you going to say that if separating them, the girls, to different schools now, they're not going to be seeing male teachers, or they're not going to be seeing any other male wherever they go, or they're not going to be able to meet up with them, those that already have that attitude of meeting with opposite sex? Do you think it's going to solve the problem? No. So what we need to be doing at this stage is to sex educate our children, you know, um, bring them up morally, because we attribute this to moral decadence. We have to, a child should be properly brought up. This first have to start from the home where this child is raised. So if this child is raised up well, getting to primary school, secondary school, I don't think you have this problem. Moreover, there's, you know, a pinch of these issues like that here and there, and a couple of them happening. You can never totally eradicate it. It will happen. It will happen. It's not all of them that go to the university. Sorry, from the secondary school eventually go to the university. Some, especially, we marry at a tender age, but allow them that association, with their male counterparts, as they are growing up. It helps them to grow physically, mentally, psychologically. They want to see them grow. They want to see them make friends with opposite sex. I remember when I went to enroll my daughter in school here in New Zealand, the present school she is, they were just after her maturity. She's not mature. She have to be mature before she be in year 12. She has to be mature before she write her final exam. And in other words, she have to be 18 years old before she can, go to the uni. She have to be mature. It's not what we have in Africa, that you see a child of 13, 14 years old already, gaining admission to go to uni. Here is no. It's total no. At 17, you can't. You have to be mature physically. You have to be mature mentally. You have to be mature you have to be mature in your thinking, your reasoning, your association. All these things, they bring all of them together, and they assess the child, and because it's all part of development. Relationship, they have to develop their relationship with their opposite sex, with their counterparts in class. We cannot take this away from them, because we are the government. We hold the power. We own the power. There are other single schools that they can go to, if they are not bringing all those laws down to just bring the laws down because you have the power. That is not what is our problem now. That is not what Nigeria should be directing all the energy to. We've already been faced with problem of poverty, problem of poor education, poor schools. How do we renovate our schools up to the standard that the standard is supposed to be, especially in this 21st century. So we should be thinking about different things to do to upgrade our schools, to make the school a better learning environment, not about immorality. And to buttress more, there should be code of ethics in every school. There should be terms of reference. There should be policies and procedures. So, and there should be counselors. There should be counselors. not one, not two. Each class has to have a separate counselor. We have people that, are counselors that can, be counseling students in their different classes, especially when they see them misbehaving, especially when they see them morally in a, in a, uh, that having some immorality, immoral exhibit all these traits, immoral traits. They are supposed to be counseled. That is what we should be looking at. Counselor at various classes that will counsel them depending on their age, depending on their ability, their maturity, and so forth, and so on and so forth. So these are the things we can't run away from all those things and just think stopping them with. Are we not trying to raise global children? Are we not raising global children, children that will go any part of the world and be confident and comfortable to talk to their counterparts? I think Nigeria should wake up. We should stop, wasting time on things that we're not supposed to waste time on. Bring out policies that are not, commensurate with the 21st century. I think is is disgusting to say. I'm sorry to use that word, but I think we should do better in this 21st century. We should really do better. So you just heard from my daughter Winnie that this is what they do in school, and they discuss each time I go to her school. The principal will have to tell me they are studying them as they are going, as they are moving, as they are associating, as they are relating with people, with their opposite sex, with their classmates. They are studying them. So you will imagine that there's know a lot more than me, the father. So this is what we should be imbibing. This is what we should be doing. So it's not only, they will tell you, it's not only about academic, about morals. You have to, be morally upright, when once you school here. And the issue of all these sex offenders, all this immorality should be taught to them to know how to behave, because they're going to be, traveling around the world, going to different places. So if we separate them and they become naive, they are not experienced in all these things, how do you want them to be? Do you want to enclose them in their homes and, get married and not associate, not go to places? You don't know. They might be first ladies tomorrow. They might be president of any country tomorrow, because things are diversified now. Everybody can move around. The whole world is a global village. So it depends on what you have. It depends on what knowledge you have. You can be a leader. You can be a leader in the first world country, in the Western world. So allow them this opportunity to mix freely with their colleague and their counterpart. This will build them, develop them more. It will make them develop mentally, physically, and what have you. So it's not a good decision, and the decision has been made. So uh, we are just saying what we have to say, but we need to rethink before we carry out decisions. We won't say because one or two people are affected or are involved, then we just bring out a decision. It's unfair to them. It's unfair. They should be consulted. There should be a pool. There should be a research. You know, what leads to this? What are they exposed? What are the interplay? You cannot just see that something, a pocket of thing happening, and just the next day just carry out decision. And you should be able to show the public, this is the research you've carried out. This is what you think. This is how far you've gone. This is, you compare. Yes, we have. There are some traditional schools that still single education, mixed education. Even in the Western world, there are schools that are only for girls, there are schools that are only for boys. We are not saying it doesn't happen, but the one that are already mixed, yes, any child, parents have, this school has come as a co-education, and parents were comfortable before sending their words there. So why just, from the move, from just suddenly stopping that kind of education and saying, no, you have to separate the girls from the boys? For me, I think we should do better as a nation, as a people. We should do better. So I want to thank you for listening, and I hope you've been able to pick one or two things from these messages that has been passed by this young lady, Winnie Wilson. And I want you to share this video to chat what you think. That as this is, you are looking to hear your perspective about issues, as they affect politics, health, traveling, employment, and overseas uh, uh, health professionals. So more of these videos will come up, and I want to employ you to watch more and write your comment if you have any question regarding Australia, New Zealand, even as a health professionals. You can just put in your comment. I'll be very happy to help you. Thank you. Bye.